Yo, what is going on, bros? Glad to see you back here for another one. And today, woo boy, today we're gonna talk about this.
What we do here is go back.
All right, so a lot has happened with the build, and again, I still plan on uploading everything to the build series, but I just have not done that yet because I'm super close with this. In fact, we're gonna find out today how very, very close that I am. So, obviously I got the engine back into the car. You guys saw that in the last episode. If you did not see that, click in the little banner above. I'm gonna put a link there. So I've got the engine in and everything is all hooked up, including the wire harness to the computer. I hooked up the harness to the engine before I put the engine in. You guys know that. Now I took the harness and I actually peeled everything off of it so that I could get access to all the wires. And then my new ECU, it's gonna be on the floorboard of the driver's side behind the brake pedal, and the brake pedal shouldn't hit it. I think there's a whole bunch of clearance there and it shouldn't have a problem. And it's gonna sit there, and the plug, there's really nice spots that you can run the wire through. It's back inside of here underneath of the brake diaphragm right there that powers the master cylinder and such. It's right there underneath. There's a plug, at least on my W210. And there's also a plug in the side, and you can see right there where it's coming through the wall right there. And then it comes up and over and then feeds the engine. So I have pretty much everything hooked up for the engine. There's only a couple of things that I don't have hooked up and a couple of hurdles that I need to overcome. One of which is the magnetic sensor for the crankshaft. It's a VR, variable reluctance, I think that's what it's called. I'm trying to figure out how to feed both the stock engine computer and the new engine computer, how to feed them both the crank signal, or how to just send the transmission computer signal from the max ECU and just tell it what the stock computer was telling it so that it can make shifts. Because it should only be throttle position and engine RPM, so that it can tell load and where in the rev range the engine is, and then it makes all of its shift points from there. I'm pretty sure. If you guys know more than that, anybody, just let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. But anyways, so that's one of the hurdles I'm trying to overcome. Another one is the throttle body, but I have a wire diagram for it, and it has 6 wires. 4 wires are like, I have no idea what they are. It just looks like gibberish in the wire diagram, but 2 of them go to the motor. And so what I'm gonna do today is, now that I have, like I said, pretty much everything hooked up, fuel injectors, ignition, some sensors, engine ground, most of the stuff is hooked up. There's just a couple things left over. Once I get everything else wired up, what I'm gonna do is turn the ignition on and hook up my laptop to the new engine computer and just talk to it and see what kind of stuff I'm dealing with there. Then obviously with the power disconnected, I'm going to connect to the throttle body motor. So in the diagram, it's all pretty confusing on one side, but then the other side has just the motor. And so I think if I hook up the motor and then go and tell the max ECU to hold the motor at a specific point that it thinks, then I can figure out where the throttle position sensor is inside of there and just stick my wires in there. Or maybe I'm wrong and it's not gonna be the way that I think it is, but I think it is gonna be the way that I think it is, obviously, because I think it. Then I can hook it up from there once I figure out exactly what's what. So that's the next hurdle I'm facing, but that's not really a big deal. So the wiring is almost done, and what's awesome is I have a couple more tools in the mail. I have a bandsaw and a belt sander in the mail so that I can start working with the exhaust stuff and then get the manifold all built up. I got the flange in. It was from AB Speeding or AB Racing or something like that. Their worldwide shipping is actually pretty good. It got here in like less than a week from some country around the planet, and it got to me, so it wasn't too bad. So here's the flange here. Looks like laser cut or plasma cut, something like that, and I mean, it's gonna do the job, I have no doubt. And it was, after shipping and everything like that, less than $100 if I'm not mistaken. I think it was like 80 something bucks. There's a couple spots in here that I probably need to go in and clean up just for smoothness, but all in all, this really is nice, and for less than $100, I mean, you can't beat it. So once I get that stuff in the mail, I can start mocking all the exhaust manifold stuff up and then finally seat the turbo in its home. It's gonna be sitting right around in this area right here. And so the back 3 cylinders, the pipe that comes from there is gonna have to come up and travel a little bit longer than the front 3 cylinders, but that shouldn't be that big of a deal. It shouldn't affect anything because it's a twin scroll, and then they come out after that, and they're pretty well mixed before. And then finally, I'll be able to make the downpipe and then mock up the entire exhaust system, looking at the other exhaust that's out there. All that stuff's laying over there, just waiting on these tools. And so also, I was able to figure out an intercooler solution for this build here. I was a little bit worried about the clearance over the top here, and if you look, I had to remove the insulation layer that was on the bottom side of the hood. And the reason why I did that is to get just barely enough clearance to get this 2.5-inch intercooler piping up and over and then down into the throttle body. And so it works pretty good. I mean, it sucks that there's a fair amount of turns in this. It's not horrible. I mean, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna do the job, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna put boost into my engine. I don't like the setup on it though, and eventually one day I imagine I will upgrade this and change it out. But for now, this is gonna work just fine. It just comes across from the intercooler. I also had to weld up the brackets for this. I just made some L's out of some steel flat bar and then welded them onto the back of this, the bumper support here. Right here onto the back, it's just 2 plates welded onto the back in L's, and then I drilled holes and then got bolts that went through into this intercooler. And it's pretty well on there just with the top two. I don't think I'm gonna have a problem with it. It's a tiny bit wobbly, but I don't feel like welding brackets underneath. If I have to, I will. But once I get everything tight in the intercooler system, it's also gonna hold the bottom. So I think it won't be bad. And I've put a lot of pressure on this because I was trying to actually bend it a little bit, and it's so sturdy, it's so stout, like I welded it pretty good, so. And you might notice that it's offset. I did that because I have the hook over here and I wanted really good access all around it. And plus the way that I have the piping run, it comes down like this, and I'm using these elbows here, and then on the other side I'm gonna use the actual piping elbows, and it will have enough clearance to come up and over. There's a hole behind this hole right there that the turbo, actually I clocked it a little bit, and it's pointed straight down to that hole, so it's gonna push down through that hole into the intercooler and then across and then up and in. And I'm not gonna be able to use the stock air box. I was hoping that maybe I could, but it's not gonna line up at all. It sucks. But it was worth a shot, I guess. And lastly, I'm thinking about getting some type of scoop down below the corner here that can scoop air up in to this corner of the engine bay, along with this hole here that's here from stock for the airbox where it comes down and goes into the airbox. That cold air intake, and I'll have a scoop right there at the bottom, I think, so that both spots can funnel cold air up to a cone filter that has a slight elbow in it so that I can get some holes put in it for the vacuum and PCV system. But there will be a whole bunch of air just being crammed up in there once I'm at highway speeds. Also, I ditched the old fans. I didn't like how the belt was on there, and I actually had the belt come off one time and only one fan would run. Anyways, I ditched that setup and I just bought these fans on Amazon. I think they were like 50 bucks after tax. Maybe a hair more, $52. And the two fans, they're 12-inch fans. Don't remember the CFM on them, but I put them down lower on the second pass, especially because there's some more stuff in the way. And when I'm stopped, it'll help get air through there, whereas the grill is gonna be on the front, so more air is gonna be able to flow through there. And plus on the second pass down below, that's where you want it to cool down the most before it enters back into the engine, because this is a dual pass radiator from the factory, which is very nice. Thank you, Mercedes, for building this setup for like 500 horsepower. I appreciate you. So I think that's the most of everything here. I haven't really modified anything else. Like I said, I'm waiting on some tools and some stuff and whatever. But yeah, everything, all the footage for this is also recorded. So I keep telling you guys this just to reassure you. And you know that I am going to be uploading this stuff to my build series because I know some of you guys really want to know how to do this stuff. I am trying to get this done because it is super exciting for me, and I've been looking forward to this for years and years, but this car has been parked for like a year and a quarter now, and it's I miss this car a lot. And it's crazy for me to see this thing wake up for the first time, and I'm getting wiring going, and later on today, once I have some things hooked up with the ignition and stuff, I'm actually gonna talk to the new engine computer and figure some things out with the throttle body. This is really exciting for me. This is the home run, you know, or not the home run, this is the home stretch. You know what I mean? Like, I've only got this last pace to sprint out as fast as I can, and then I've crossed the finish line. So, really exciting for me, guys. I hope that you're also excited about this build, because then I get to upload lots of cool footage and add to the footage reservoir of burnouts and crazy stuff that people do in cars, and I get to add that to the internet for you guys. Plus more M104 content for the internet, more people getting excited and looking at these engines, possibly more aftermarket support if more people get into it. It's a whole deal, guys. Anyways, thanks for sticking around. If you like this content, hit that like button, hit me up down in the comments section below if you want to talk to me about anything. Certainly consider subscribing if you're not already, because lots of cool content is coming out here in the future. Stay tuned for upcoming updates on the build. I really suspect this is going to be about a week, maybe a week and a half or so, and I could have first start. I'm pretty confident that I can, in about a week and a half from now, have first start on this. So that's exciting. So stay tuned, and I will see you next time.